Hello, hello, beautiful family. Gonna hop on here with my dear sister and business partner, Christina, who's gonna join us in just a second. And we are coming at you today talking about a couple things, mainly this topic of the sister wound. You might be asking, what the heck is a sister wound? And don't worry, we're gonna be going into that. And hello. Just gonna wait for her to join us. A couple more minutes. So Christina and I have been having these women's circles every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And they have been so powerful, so beautiful. It's like taking on an energy that's so beyond us and, anything that our little self might have been wanting from it. I'm going to add her in now because it's greater than us. And Christina, you sister. Oh, you're glowing.
Oh, it's so nice, the sun right now. It's like we haven't really had that many nice days here in New York. So I'm soaking it in.
I love it. I was just blabbering away before you hopped on here about our circles and how powerful they've been and how it's just like taken on, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an energy that's just like greater than us. And I was just giving a little tidbit about the sister wound. I didn't go into it at all yet, but
Cool.
yeah, I'm just curious to feel into what's coming up for you.
Yeah, probably know what you've shared so far, but for those of you who haven't been joining us on Saturday, for me personally, and just experiencing the reflections within my sisters, it's been such a powerful container for transformation and authenticity and healing. Like every week I leave that space and I'm like, what the F just happened? Because I think what we're really tapping into is we're allowing that divine feminine essence to move through us, and it's truly through authenticity. So much gratitude to all the sisters who have been coming online and showing up authentically and vulnerably, because it's the community that creates the space. And I don't know if you mentioned, it really is the intention behind this space is collaboration and co-creation. So we've shared with our sisters in the circle that we're encouraging everybody to allow themselves to be held and be supported and find their voice. And sometimes in the space we trigger each other, and it brings up some reflections and some uncomfortable emotions, but we're really starting to embrace that, and we're giving a voice to the shadow aspects of ourselves, which is allowing for so much transformation. So yeah, it just brings so much joy to my heart, because I never thought that I would be working and doing women's work. Not that I ever had any real resistance to it, although I would love to dive into my story further, because it's all about the sisterhood wound. But it was just never something that I envisioned for myself, but it was something that I think you and I both felt a call to and kind of were pulled into through the synchronicity of just our relationship and our path. So grateful for you, Leah, sister. I love you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, me too. So grateful. And like you were saying, like, I feel that what we've opened up in this space is we were chatting after our last circle last week about how like it's teaching us why we are doing it. Like we came in with these intentions and like they're still there, but it's like as it unfolds, like they are co-creating. The women who are coming have been co-creating just by showing up, because they're revealing to us, like you said, our triggers and our shadows, and also the deeper reason behind why we're doing this that we might not have even known. And it's something really magical. And it's been like multiple sisters have been in tears. I've been in tears because the power and the beauty of women fully just like seeing each other. And like, you know, a lot of sisters have reflected during circle that, you know, they're sharing things they've never shared before with anyone. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like that
Oh
is,
my.
yeah, it's like, it's incredible because the collective and the individual healing that gets done when you do that, when you get that thing off your chest, out of your body that you've been holding on to for so long, out of your womb space. And we'll go into more of this on other videos and our podcast eventually, which we are going to create a podcast. Anyone who's listening, but I'm really feeling into the connection of between the womb space and the voice, and it is like it's just so deeply connected, and
Yeah.
we hold that collectively. And so I know we came on here today with the intention to talk about the
Something
sister
just
wound.
came through for me. Like, I'm sorry, I have to share this.
Yeah.
We were speaking last week in Circle about the womb being truly like a portal. When you think about like that portal from the spirit realm to bring life to, you know, this dimension. But the
Mm-hmm.
voice is also a portal. It's a
Mm-hmm.
portal to, you know, bring that vibration through and literally just feel. And it goes so far beyond singing. It's your authentic voice. It's you showing up and speaking, and you know, like speaking to those emotions that are deep in your heart, that maybe make your heart race, or you know, you start to sweat, or you feel uncomfortable sharing. Like that's your authenticity, and that's your medicine, and that's a portal for us all to really align with this higher vibration. So yeah, I just had that little vision and I had to share it, so thank you.
I love that. And I wanted to add to that. I'm feeling inspired. Like, even beyond like speaking, your voice is like you creating whatever you want to create in the world, like following the path of your heart. And I feel like that's what it opens up, is this channel to do things that you might not have done before because of how they would be perceived, or because, you know, they're like whether they're right or wrong. And when we access our authentic voice, our voice is like the way we express in the world, the way we live in the world. Is there an echo on your side? There's an echo on my side.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I thought it was
I
mine.
uh, I have so much energy pulsing through me. I'm literally shaking. So I was trying to rest the camera on my knee, but it's okay. I'll just be a shaky person. But yeah, thank you so much for that reflection, Leah. I feel that deeply. But let's dive into what our topic is going to be this weekend. The sister wound. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it feels really, really. They're all the topics are powerful, but this one especially because as we are in, you know, a container, a space with other women, I think that is like one of the main roots behind why I found in my personal experience and my friends and women that I work with, one of the reasons why we keep ourselves from, you know, expressing our fullness and speaking our voice and, you know, going for things, is this underlying competition and mistrust of our sisters, of other women. And that's been a theme throughout my whole life. I've always been lucky with pretty close girlfriends, sisters, but there has always been, you know, in lots of my female relationships, this underlying tension of competition, of comparison. Comparison is a huge one for me. Like, you know, I still have it. We all still struggle with these things. But like, for example, when I see another sister who's like such a goddess, such a beautiful woman who's shining in her path, and it might be something similar to what I'm doing, I get triggered, and I'm like, okay, but now I know to like take a step back and be like, what about her is inspiring me, and the parts that's triggering me, why is it triggering me? What it's bringing up? What is it bringing up within me that I haven't looked at? You know, how is she expressing in a way that I haven't allowed myself to, because of fear of what people will think of me? And I'm just going to go a little deeper into the sister wound. Like, what I feel like it is from at a cultural level is, I mean, women have been conditioned to not trust each other for centuries, for thousands of years. And you could put the root to it to being like many things, but I just, what comes to me is the witch hunts, which really was, you know, a systematic um, genocide of indigenous people, and specifically women, medicine women. And women were told, you know, that if they didn't turn their sisters in or their mothers in or their friends in, they would be killed. So they had to betray each other. And that is, you know, we carry trauma within our bodies from our mothers and from their mothers of things that they went through that get stored in your DNA. And so we have inherited this mistrust of women because we would rather like turn each other in, so to speak, than be hurt by the men or the patriarchy. And we'd rather be in good standing with the men than stand up for each other. So that's like the deep root of what I'm feeling like it could stem from.
I'm needing to step in my car because I'm out there shaking. I'm not even cold. I think it's the energy, but maybe it is a little chilly. Yeah, that's a deep reflection, and I feel that I feel truth in all of that. For me, for me, it's so important. Um, the relationship that we have with women, because truly, like those of us on our spiritual journey, what kind of relationship do we have with the divine? What kind of spiritual relationship do we have if we don't have a connection with the mother, with ourselves, with our nature? And you know, feeling how that disconnection with women have been reflected in my life. You know, I feel like for the first time now recently, I've been stepping into a full acceptance of my femininity and my truth, which is allowing me to find deeper acceptance for my sisters and is opening up truly the power that arises when we come together.
Oh.
And I think like these conversations are really important because even in the women's work that I've been to in the past, there's been, you know, still that underlying energy of inauthenticity, really. And what it boils down to is an inability to trust each other. And that manifests as an inability to trust yourself, to trust the feminine, to trust the divine. So like the importance of us actually coming together and breaking through some of these barriers that we have around jealousy or comparison, or, you know, a lot of us have been, you know, really betrayed by maybe our biological sisters, maybe our mothers, maybe our friends, our sisters, the women in society. Um, and I think us coming together and having these conversations brings the power back into the women,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And something that came up for me as you were speaking is like, as we come together and do that together and show up more and more fully and step into more of our power, you know, because I found both towards me and me towards other women that when I started to really step into my power, I had some friends who kind of, you know, I could feel their like jealousy or they were turning away from me. And then same thing when I used to get really triggered by women who were like so embodied and like so speaking their truth because I wasn't doing that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it is a manifestation of a conditioning of scarcity too. Like if this woman is getting all this attention and all this love and all this money or whatever the fuck, you know, we see as success, then there's not enough for me because, you know, we can't have all these women doing that. We'd all get attacked or whatever. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
a fear-based, scarcity-based thing. And so the more we can all say fuck that and step into that together and truly lift each other up, not just like, oh, I love my sisters, but like seriously like investing in each other and like
Mm-hmm.
lifting each other's voices and each other's creations
Mm-hmm.
and sharing each other's medicine with our communities. Like that is like true empowerment. Like
Mm-hmm.
if any of you have like been to an in-person women's circle ever, I really recommend it because, or just like any kind of women's gathering. I mean, you know it, even just from hanging out with your friends. It's like you can get into this zone, and like in women's circles that I've been to, it's like the power and the energy in there is like seriously nobody can touch that. That is true
Hmm.
power. And like I'll just tell a little story. Once I had a my best friend, one of my best friends from high school came to visit me once, and she came with me and my best friend from college to a women's circle that we were going to, and she had been to other women's circles, but this one was kind of more on like the spiritual side, and she's just not really into that stuff, which is totally fine. Like that's my thing, it's not her thing. But she was super uncomfortable the whole time, and I had to like kind of just release, continue to release that it wasn't my responsibility for her to like be comfortable. But then afterwards she reflected and she was just like, yeah, I was really uncomfortable the whole time, but I could see how why men have been afraid of women's power for so long, because if a man were to step into that room when we were like in the midst of our whatever, like writhing sensual voice activation, like they would be terrified because
Hmm.
there's just no stopping that. It's
Hmm.
unstoppable. And I think breaking down those barriers with each other, it's two-sided. It's like we have to break it down within ourselves. We have to learn to trust ourselves so that we can trust other women, and we have to trust other women so we can trust ourselves. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, sister, I'm gonna bring it right back to the same point that I keep sharing because you're covering everything else, but then that boils down to authenticity. Like when we can share about our stories, we see, holy shit, like that woman is nothing like I thought. Like she has pain and she is strong and like
Mm.
I want to support her. Like I feel like we create these images, whether, you know, whatever, it's our subconscious or our ego or our jealousies or whatever lower vibrations are controlling, you know, this projection that we have of certain people, but we create these stories around them and usually they're not true at all. And I think when we allow each other to share and to have a voice, and when we say, we want to hear you, you know, not only is that healing for that person to release that energy, but then we all get to see, like, yo, that's my sister. Like, you know, like I genuinely want that woman to shine because if she shines, like it fucking lights me up because now we have this connection and I feel her so deeply. Like her story is my story. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. So women's work, dude. So
Raise
potent.
it up. Fuck yeah, that was so beautiful. Uh,
Yeah.
hmm.